Hi, hello. Are we on mute?
Yeah,
We're
off. We're off.
mute now.
Yes. How are you holding up?
We're holding up okay. How about you and your husband?
We're
We're
doing all right too.
we're still here.
Have you introduced any changes in your routines?
Yes, we've actually eaten out at a restaurant. We went to our grandson's junior high school graduation on Monday in a parking lot at New Trier. It was really ridiculous, but we did that, and then we joined them and went out to eat. And
Okay,
it was so nice.
you've made progress.
I have. I feel a little creepy, and there's not enough space between people for me. But
Well,
other
it's
than
good
that,
to get out and begin to get back to normal a little bit.
right.
That's right.
How about you? How are you doing?
Well, we haven't gone as far as you, but we have resumed doing our own shopping. And we've gone into a number of other stores, but we go very early before the crowds set in.
Yeah.
And we've started walking outside in the neighborhood without masks.
Yeah, I've been doing that too. Finally.
To me, it's a little bit too hot this past week. I'm waiting for it to get cooler so that I can walk again outside.
What? Excuse me, Jerry's saying something.
Block the air conditioning.
Yes, go ahead. This evening, we took a walk before we came in here. It's cool outside. There's a little, I don't know what the temperature is, but the breeze made it very comfortable. Actually was a little chilly.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I took a walk this afternoon. I walked down East Prairie and it was so hot. Once I got out beyond where the trees were, it was a little shady. It was so hot. I turned around and came back home.
What time was that?
It must have been about 5.
No, it was about 4 or 5 something.
Oh, okay. We just came in a few minutes ago and it was very different.
I'm glad it cooled off.
Oh, that's encouraging.
I should have waited.
Yeah.
And my group is going to start again, so I could be the token Jew at Kenilworth Union Church.
I'm sorry, I missed the last thing you said.
I said I'm the token Jew at Kenilworth Union Church playing bridge, but they're really good bridge players. Yael, you getting ready to move?
We are getting ready. Today and tomorrow are my kids' last days of school, so that feels like it's coming.
Yeah, right.
And my husband's last day of work is tomorrow, so we're going on a mini vacation, recharge, get ready, and then on Wednesday it's just packing until the end.
Are you going somewhere interesting for your mini vacation?
We're going camping. We are a family that loves to camp, and there's a beautiful state park about 45 minutes away.
Oh, good.
And so we go a few times each summer. So this is like our goodbye for the kids to our favorite camping ground here. But it's very lovely. It has like a little man-made lake where we can fish and go boating and nice trails. And we're going with a very dear family friend. So it's it wasn't intentionally a goodbye trip. We planned it before we knew we were moving, but it will be a goodbye trip for.
So do you use tents or cabins?
They are going to use a cabin because the husband of that family is not a big camper. But we sleep in a tent. We have a big tent, and so I sleep on an air mattress with my kids, and then my husband likes to sleep on the ground.
We used to go tenting. In fact, we were living in Israel at the time, and our house was on the small side. So it occurred to us when company came, when my family came to visit, we would open the tent in the backyard, and the children would.
No, you forget. First, we wanted to go, but the children didn't have it.
What's that?
We wanted to go, but the kids.
Oh, we were planning to go into the tent, but the kids insisted they wanted to.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was nice. But Yael, I didn't want this time to go by without saying a few things about these sessions we've been having.
Okay.
It's been such a pleasure. It's been such a joy. And I also want to say that both Jerry and I are so impressed with the methods that you use with how you structure the classes, the way you pick a theme out and develop it and bring in mefarshim and also modern day commentators and elicit our comments. We think it's a really very effective way you conduct the lessons. And we have had many far senior teachers
Can't do it.
who can't hold a candle to what you do.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I have to say, I told Ravari this at our last meeting that this year has been like a little tumultuous with COVID and then with our moving. And this has been like the steady bright light of my week. So I really have enjoyed getting to know you guys. And I really do hope to come to Chicago sometime in the fall for Shabbat and get to meet everyone in person. But it has been, it has pushed me to really develop my thoughts. So I'm glad to hear it works well for you guys also. And I've really, I mean, you are such a knowledgeable group. I feel like you enhance the shiur as much as I do. So thank you. I can't get anything past you, certainly. For good, not for bad. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. I know it was very hard for me to stop. I wanted to keep going forever, but I think it was the right choice for now. And, you know, maybe we'll meet again. I wonder if I should give Nelson another minute or two. We'll see. But yes, this certainly marks the end of a chapter.
Yeah.
A very nice one.
How do the children feel about the move, by the way?
They're beginning to have mixed feelings. My oldest is 7 and she was heartbroken to leave her friends and her, you know, wonderful little community. And that of course makes sense. And so we tried to just be supportive. But in this world of Zoom, we realized we could set up a play date with a new friend. So we found a little girl in her class whose mother is on the board of the shul. So we had met her sort of through all of the moving details. And they had a very sweet little Zoom date. And so now she's, you know, excited to be with her friend, Sarah. It's amazing how quickly friends are made when you're 7.
Wonderful.
Very,
So,
very.
you know, I think mixed feelings. I think my son is getting anxious, but he's graduating pre-K. Anyway, he was going to a new school. So that's,
Yeah.
you know, a big change. And my youngest has no idea and will be very upset when she realizes she's left her best friend Alice behind. She keeps saying, can Alice come to Michigan? And I was like, maybe to visit, but we can't like just take her with us. So, you know, it's interesting seeing how they all react differently at different ages and their personalities and, you know, shine through. But I think when we get there, you know, we were able to show them pictures of our new house. That was a big improvement. Because now they sort of have like a little picture of where we're going.
Yeah.
And there are all these camping sites around there too.
Yes, yes. Everyone has told us that the camping is beautiful in Michigan. And we met another family over Zoom who also likes to do a lot of outdoor exploring. So we made a date with them. It's really amazing how you can move into a community these days. You know, with all of the Zooming that happens beforehand and the pictures and you know, we took a look at their school over the Google satellite pictures and it was a lot of fun. My mother, who's from Chicago, sent them coloring sheets of the Great Lakes with like a little dotted line from Philadelphia all the way to Ann Arbor. So they're plotting their trip. It will be nice, I think.
Sometimes kids, even young kids, can form such close and strong attachments. We remember very vividly our younger son. At the time, he was between 5 and 6. And a little girl that he'd become very friendly with was leaving. It was a day school and her family was leaving. And he was kind of grieving over it. And I said to him, Yanni, you can make other friends, sweetheart. There's so many nice children here. He said, yes, but they're not Rachel.
It's so sweet how earnest they are in their friendships at this age. That's very sweet. Yes, and I said, you'll always be that friend who went to Michigan. And we hope some of our friends will come visit us. It's not so far. We, you know, maybe we'll meet in the middle over the summers. There's some nice camping like in, you know, upper.
You can drive it in a day.
Yeah.
So it's really okay.
Yeah, it will be okay. It will be okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll catch Nelson up if he comes. It's not a very long thought, but I thought it was a nice parting charge to each of us. So this week's Parsha is Parashat Korach, which comes up with Korach's famous rebellion. And, as a kid, I always was taught, my father was very big on rooting for the underdog. And so I think there's something sort of appealing about wanting to side with Korach. But the Torah is so clear that Korach was in the wrong, right? He gets swallowed up into the earth. And so I wanted to understand what was his claim, and I wanted to find something, even if it was misguided, that maybe was nice about it. And so I took a closer look, and I rememred a Parsha blog that I had once read, and I went back, and I think this is a nice idea. Let's see if we can share it. So this is the opening of this week's Parsha, two psukim in, and this is Korach's complaint. Right, so Vikalu al Moshe al Aaron, right? Korach and his followers go to Moshe and Aaron. V'yomru alehem, Rav lachem ki kol ha'edah kulam kedoshim. Right, he says to them, "You have gone too far. For all of the community are holy, all of them. Uvetocham Hashem, and in the midst is God. Umadua titnasu al kahal Hashem." And so why do you raise yourselves, you, Aaron and Moshe, above the rest of us, the Lord's congregation, on the ground? Hello to whoever just joined us. I don't know. Welcome.
Hello, this is Nelson.
Nelson, we were waiting for you, and then we thought we would catch you up.
Yeah, I can't log you in the computer, so I dialed in. I'm just audio only. I'll try again.
I'll miss
everybody else. Everybody else got in?
Yes, we have Tamar and Jerry and Jean and Stefan and Barry, and we know that we don't have Debbie and Dan today because they're in Israel.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see you guys.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'll listen to it. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. We really had just started. We were hoping you would join us.
I'm joining. Yeah.
Excellent. I was sharing that I wanted to find something, if not redemptive about Korach, at least to understand where he was coming from, because I was always taught to root for the underdog, especially when sometimes the Meforshim give a character like a bad reputation, like Esau, for example, right? People are often pushed to one extreme, but in this week's Parsha, God is pretty clear that God is displeased with Korach's behavior, because Korach and his followers all get swallowed up in this dramatic scene. So I'm not sure we can root for him, but maybe we could understand him, or at least learn from maybe his perhaps misguided intentions. And so we just read the first opening pasuk. It's the third pasuk in the Parsha, where Korach says to Moshe and Aaron, "Kol ha'edah kulam kedoshim." Right, and on the face of it, like if we didn't know, right, if we could separate out Korach's getting swallowed up. Oh, there you are.
I made it. I was in the wrong meeting. I clicked the wrong spot.
Oh, perfect. So if we didn't know that Korach was going to get swallowed up, it actually, I think, and certainly everyone should chime in, it sounds like quite a lovely reminder to Moshe and Aaron, right? Kol ha'edah kulam kedoshim. We're all holy people. And in fact, it's a refrain that, typo here. It's a refrain that gets carried out throughout all of the Chumash, right? In Shemot, it says, "V'atem tihiyu li mamlechet kohanim v'goy kadosh," right? You should be this holy nation and a kingdom of priests. And then again, skipping this Bamidbar source for 1 second, in Vayikra 19, it says, "Daber al kol bnei Israel v'amarta alehem kadoshim tihiyu," right? God says to Moshe, "Tell all of bnei Israel that you shall be holy." And so perhaps we can understand why this would be Korach's refrain. And it comes on the footsteps of the tzitzit mitzvah in last week's Parsha, Bamidbar 15:14. And there, it even God reminds us, "Laman tizkaru v'atitem et kol mitzvotai," right? So you should wear them to be reminded to observe my mitzvot. V'hayitem kedoshim le'Elohechem, and you should be holy to your God. So far, I think Korach has a good case, right? It's confusing why he might get swallowed up into the earth. Does anyone? I want to pause just for a second. Oh, Barry, it looks like you took yourself off mute. Do you have a thought? Here
It's
you are.
political spin.
Okay,
He wants to be the leader and not Moses. So this is his spin to get Moses out so he could get in.
Okay. So but is it good spin? Right? Meaning, like, did he pick up on something that's actually true?
No, it's not good spin. He's got it for selfish motives. It's not for the improvement of the people. It's to get him in. It sounds good. It's typical political spin.
Okay.
It sounds good to the people, but it's for selfish purposes.
Okay, I hear you. And I think that you're right on some level, right? And the spin, like any good spin doctor, right, bases his spin on some kind of truth, right? And so I think that if you just heard God say, "V'hayitim kedoshim le'Elohechem," that this might resonate with you, right? Kol ha'edah kulam kedoshim.
Yael,
Yes.
something about the language kind of prepares us to feel negatively about their act, because Vayikahalu al Moshe, it sounds like an attack. It's not Vayomru or Vayidabru, but it's Vayikahalu al. So it sounds like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I think you're right that there are very good clues that Korach is not saying the right thing. Or he's not saying it in the right way. His message certainly has been lost.
This occurs right after the 10 Meraglim. Something happens to them. They're thrown out. And after the whole nation decides to push ahead, they suffer a terrible, disastrous defeat. How Korach is speaking. We have the version we have of this is not Korach's version.
Great point. Yeah. Whose version is it?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's like Moshe's or God's recounting of the other side.
I thought of something.
Yeah, go ahead. Nancy.
Yeah, I'm thinking that this is a case of psychological projection. They see that they're jealous of Moses. They see Moses. They're ignoring God. There is no God in this paragraph. They see Moses raising himself, which is not. He's following God's commands to Moses, and so this brings jealousy, rage, whatever, and they project into Moses. What do they see for themselves? They are raising themselves above the Lord's congregation. They want to get what they perceive as personal glory.
Interesting. Okay, I like that. So it's almost like through their language, they betray their own agenda.
Yep. Something like that.
Definitely. I think that there's something here. I don't think other far smarter people than I think. Rabbi Aaron Lieb-Smokler, who works at Yeshivat Maharat, is a dear teacher and mentor of mine, notices something that's like a little bit maybe like a step removed. I think everything that all of you are saying is true. And she points out, and maybe this goes to everyone's points about sort of the antagonism of Korach, the agenda that he has, the spin that he's using, that Kol Ha'edah Kulam Kedoshim is actually quite different from this pasuk here, Kedoshim Tihiyu. And she says that it's in the tense of the form, right? So Korach is appealing to the people by saying we are all holy, like right now we're all holy, right? But the psukim that come from Hashem, Ba'atem Tihiyu li, they're all in the future tense. It's more of a charge than it is a description in her mind. And so she writes here, right? That is holiness a fact of our people's existence, or is it an aspiration? And I thought that that was such a beautiful way of putting it, right? That Korach is playing on everyone's need or desire for our holiness to be a fact, to just be simply because we are God's people, we are already holy. And he misses this aspirational point. She asks, is it a passive genetic inheritance or the byproduct of active devotion and commitment? Is our guiding directive to be a present-focused awareness of our already attained status, as in Kulam Kedoshim, the Korach model, we are already holy, or ought it be a future-directed, never fully owned striving, as in Kedoshim Tihiyu, you shall be holy, right? And so for all of the reasons that you guys said, right, Korach is out to get something that is not genuine. And to get there, he plays to the easy road out, right? Like any politician, right? Like the roads will be paved with gold. It will be easy. You won't have to work hard. You are already holy. You deserve all of these things, maybe is the way that that she's framing it. And she quotes Professor Yeshayahu Leibowitz from his book, where he talks about how the Judaism of Moses is arduous. And I just thought that was such to me, a beautiful idea, right? That Judaism is not supposed to be easy, right? It's supposed to be a pathway. And it means knowing that we are not a holy people, right? Not automatically, not by birth, because the Judaism of Korach is very comforting. It allows every Jew to be proud and boast that he is a member of a holy people, which is holy in its very nature. And this obligates him to nothing, right? It's a great spin. Because there's nothing left to do. Moshe is asking them to do the hard work, right? The spies didn't maybe do the hard work of figuring out how to be holy. And Korach is saying, you don't need to do that. But Professor Leibowitz reminds us there is no greater opposition than that between the conception of Am Segula, a chosen people, as implying subjection to an obligation, and Am Segula as purely a privilege. The uniqueness of the Jewish people is not a fact, it is an endeavor. The holiness of Israel is not a reality, it is a task. And so I think for whatever bad purposes Korach had, what lay at his fundamental problem was this misunderstanding or misrepresentation, however, right? I think you could read it as a misunderstanding, to be generous to Korach, or a misrepresentation if he's being manipulative. But that is what makes Korach's lesson resonate so strongly throughout the ages, is to remember that our holiness, we shouldn't take it for granted as a reality, as a gift, right, on a silver spoon, but it's something that has to be worked at. The kind of thing that once you think you have it, you lose it, kind of cliche, right? And that Korach wasn't willing to do the work. And that
it reminds me.
Yeah, go ahead, Nelson.
Yeah, no, I thought it's like parallel current politics is free holiness for everybody, or holiness with responsibility. You have to do something for your holiness.
Yeah, I think it resonates in lots of ways today. And, I never want to stray too far into politics, step on anyone's toes, but I totally agree with you. I think that, I think it's just, it's an entitlement, a feeling of entitlement. And there's certainly a lot of that out there today. And the danger of entitlement is not just like a swollen ego, but that you stop working hard on the thing that you're supposed to do. And so I think this idea that the holiness is not a reality, but a task is such a beautiful charge to us throughout the ages, to remember that the relationship to God and to holiness takes a lot of work. I think I really love the message, but I just love the minute point of tense that pulled Professor Leibowitz to it. Is such a fascinating read, right? To notice that it says Kol ha'eda kulam kadoshim as opposed to kadoshim tihiyu or v'hayitem kadoshim, and that there's so much to be found in every word of the Torah to add meaning and nuance. Korach, I think Barry, you're right. He was a political operative, but in some ways that makes him feel very far from my reality. maybe if you live in Israel where there are elections every 3 months, it might feel more realistic. But for me, right, that's not my reality. Right, I think Rabbi Sachs calls him the first populist. And our democracy might be on shaky ground, but it still feels fairly democratic to me at this moment. But this idea of presuming something that takes work, that feels like a more relevant theme to me. So I thought it was a beautiful note to end our Parsha class on, because I think that coming together for regular Torah study is a way of striving along that path and that task to be holy, and that it's not a little thing, and it's not to be taken for granted that we accept the task of always becoming more holy, as opposed to reveling in our current knowledge or our constant holiness. And I'm so grateful that you all took that journey with me through this year. It was really a huge gift for me. And I hope that we'll still talk for several more minutes, but also that you'll stay in touch. And I really look forward to meeting everyone in person later this year. I'm very committed to a trip. And I'll miss you all very much when I read the Parsha each week.
Yeah, we'll miss you our Thursday nights with Yael. That's going to be a hole in our week. Though.
Yes.
Learn Torah another way, and hope that one day we'll meet again.
I hope so.
Are you going to have more classes in the future?
I don't know. I spoke with Rav Ari tentatively about doing something, maybe a slightly different schedule in the fall. But I have to get settled first and see. And Rav Ari might take on a new intern, which is, of course, in his rights. And I'm sure that person will be wonderful as well. So we sort of left it a little bit open to see what will happen.
We wish you and your family all kinds of happiness in your new life.
Thank you so much.
Hatzlacha.
I will take this. I'll take this experience with me and all of your thoughts and wisdom along our way, and we'll see each other again, I'm sure.
No, I enjoyed every week a little more. I don't know if it was me that was getting to learn better with you, or you were growing. I think probably all of the above. It was wonderful.
I grew a lot. I was sharing with Tamar and Jerry before. It really pushed me to think about the Parsha differently and to ask more questions. And I'm grateful for this experience.
We were sorry we just didn't join earlier to experience more of it.
It would have been nice. But hopefully there'll be more experiences to come.
Well, we got a best sample. You got Yael her best. We did too. She was good all along.
It's true. I remember back to the fall when I was very nervous that first week. So now I feel much more comfortable with you guys and you with us. And it's a very nice sharing of ideas. Okay, well a short but a hopefully big idea to end on. And I wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom, and I'll see you soon. Lehitraot, that's what I've been telling my kids to say. No goodbyes.
Shabbat Shalom.
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 Shalom.